in terms of different narratives that different people want to be carried. Yesterday, when we were closing the program, you said something about what has happened in COVID and with the medical intervention or the vaccine, and now what is coming to light is so many different things that are saying, but did our leaders, did the persons who were supposed to have truly examined both sides of the case, did they do it rightly, or they just went on doing everything? So it's Proverbs 18, and we were reading from verses 10 to 17, and I'd go back over. The first one for examination is, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, which gives us hope in times of trouble. The righteous run to it, and they are safe and set on high, and it says far above evil.
We should say a little bit about when we say the name, because a lot of us instinctively said Jesus or Lord or, oh my God or something. We just call the word that is recognized as the name. But when we say name, and this is something that it should always be remembered, really, name is a reputation, is authority.
Come on.
It's a track record for something. So when
we say the name
of the Lord is a strong tower, it's not just all those who will say
the name of Jesus.
We call a word, and the word is highly debated whether this is the name or that is the name. The name. You remember all the different persons who say Jesus is a ship. Or
you remember that Jesus was a ship,
or God is man-made, or different ways that we relate to whatever word is recognized publicly or internationally or however, privately. Whatever name you give to the one whose reputation, whose might and power
is standing behind
what you do. And it's the same thing, and we know this, like the way we use the word. My word is my bond. What do we mean? It means your reputation is tied up in your utterances. And when somebody comes and say, Minette sent me, or Percy sent me, or Lowell sent me, whatever name you call, the reaction is specific to the Like you call a name and then laugh.
Yes. It's that's interesting. Like you go to school and when I was in high school, it says, Mr. Atkins will call you. So Atkins was a principal. If Mr. Atkins call you, better go.
There you go. Once you hear the name, the weight and authority of his office comes with it.
And this is the same thing with God.
Yes. Whatever. If he's only something you think about, like he announced himself to Moses as I am.
That I am.
When you go and say, I am sent me, I mean, it's head-scratching moment, that.
Yes.
But at the time when he announced himself in that way and said, it was Moses who was concerned. What if people say, who sent you?
Just tell them I am. And interestingly.
And it was a moment to learn what that means.
And who it represents.
And
then he went on to prove to the Egyptians.
Exactly. And it's recorded so that we today can say, all right, whoever announces I am, self-existent one, unlimited in power. So I know you use the name of the Lord as a strong tower, as do I. And the reason why I interrupted your presentation is because I think a lot of times these scriptures are read and what exactly it means and how you use it escapes the imagination of those who are not familiar with it. Myself, I learn more and more each day, because as you begin to understand the reputation of the one whose name you are calling and relying on, as you begin to understand who he really is, you get more strength from it. And also you get more clarity because you run to a strong tower thinking that the strong tower is exclusive, only to discover when you go there that, it's not exclusive. Everybody have access.
Everybody have access.
And you may go there thinking, I can get away from Percy. But when you go there, there is Percy right at the door. So you got to learn a lot more about how this strong tower operates. So you are neither disappointed nor complacent in your resort to the strong tower. More on that.
No, but that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. It isn't because we want to teach and to help persons in terms of what it happens. So what is in the name? Everything is in that name. And then it says the rich man's wealth is a strong city.
So that's where he goes.
Yes.
That's where he goes.
And like a high wall of protection. He thinks in his own imagination and conceit that it will protect him. But what we recognize when true judgment comes, it can't protect anybody. And I think that was so very evident when we went through the periods of lockdown. Because some people,
but you're provoking me now because I went to bed with the news of Mr. Trump's indictment in the state of Georgia ringing in my ears, and I was saying, Lord, you're showing us something here because for all her ways, America is not on a path of self-destruction. It may look that way based on some moves that you see. That country is uniquely crafted. America is like a modern day Israel. Every kind of perverse, extreme, and at the same time noble, sacrificial, high example of something is going on in that country, and they're so close to us.
Extreme.
You can't look away. Now they've gone ahead and indicted a man who, talk about having a high tower. The Trump Towers, eponymously named, all over the world. I go in South Africa, I see Trump Tower. I mean, all over the world, he has sought to create a monument in his name. Yet, this is like the 6th criminal indictment for a man who operated in the highest office, perhaps certainly in the Western world. I mean, the Americans may say in the world, but however you may put it, it is not an insubstantial place that he occupied. Now, where is his strong tower? Because he enjoyed great wealth. Some say it's not 13 billion, it's 10. Some say it's 9. What if it's even 1? He has enjoyed. He enjoys great wealth. He has family name in terms of the history, what he has created for himself. Anywhere you go, the name is recognizable. In his own imagination, I am sure he felt that he had a strong city, surrounded himself. Now I see even the people of influence and skill that were a part of his entourage. They're named as defendants with him in Georgia. They're like 12 defendants. The lawyers, the advisors, the star power with which he had surrounded himself at a point in time. And it is like a storybook. We're going to talk about it later because certainly our law enforcement or DPP or own system of administration here and those who work in it can take a page from the book that is on full display now on how you stitch a case together to bring onto paper in one place all of the outrageous but seemingly inconsequential or laughable actions of a group of people who were really working systematically to create a result in their favor.
But it's interesting comments. I reserve my comment.
Yeah,
I reserve.
But I can assure you that at any time he chooses to avail himself of the strong tower represented by the name of the Lord, even someone who seemed to be out there on a limb will find a place of comfort. Yeah. If, however, all you are looking to is, what is it, the rich man's, what is his what?
Rich man's wealth is
his wealth. If what you're looking to is your wealth, to be your city of refuge or your place of refuge.
Before disaster, the heart of a man is haughty and filled with self-importance.
You're still talking about Mr. Trump.
I'm talking about a lot of people in our country, but humility comes before honor. Before disaster, the heart of a man is haughty and filled with self-importance. And we have to take that on as individuals, you know.
But you know, what is amazing to me is how many times you see the same personalities emerge after the disaster and go back to the same behavior.
They don't learn. They haven't learned.
What does the next verse say for that individual?
But humility comes before honor. He who hears before he who answers before he hears the facts, it is folly and shame to him. Again, that is so very important. It speaks to the fact that a lot of the times, and even as I do premarital counseling or marital counseling with individuals, I'm saying to them, you need to hear what the other person is saying. You need to seek to get understanding. Proverbs 4:7 says, not that get wisdom, but more than anything else, make sure you get understanding. And it is to teach persons to say, hear what the person is saying, because probably you and the person saying the same thing, but because you are so intent on answering, you're not even hearing a word what the other person is saying. So he who answers before he hears the facts, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of a man sustains him in sickness, but as for a broken spirit, who can hear it? The spirit of a man sustains him in sickness, but as for a broken spirit, who can bear it? I was commenting to somebody, I think it was my son, we were having a discussion, and I was saying to him, if you want to break somebody, put them in solitary confinement where they are away from everybody and everything that they know. And if they are not strong in their spirit, they will go mad. You know that, right? That's why they put people in solitary confinement. Yeah. So what it is saying to us is that we must, in everything, seek to strengthen our spirit. And our spirit is that part of us that has relationship with this I am that I am that Moses was talking about when it happened. The mind of the prudent always acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. The mind of the prudent always acquires knowledge. So you're on a path
to know more.
And you always listen, always willing to hear. A man's gift given in love or courtesy makes room for him and brings him before.
But you know, Pressure, before you move on, we should qualify what is meant by knowledge. Because gossip about an individual is not knowledge. Speculation and rumor mongering
is not
knowledge.
And we know that.
And some persons who spend a lot of time on TikTok, on YouTube, on social media, on Twitter, just randomly consuming whatever persons whose competence, capability, mindset is a mystery to them. They have no idea whose thoughts they're consuming, and they mistakenly believe that it is knowledge. They have acquired knowledge. And what is even more distressing to me is sometimes they push it to you. And you have to go through the business of discarding it.
Of sifting through.
Well, sometimes I tell you,
outright
just delete. I make that point because it says it's equally important. Pursuing knowledge is important, but it's even more important to be knowledgeable about the source of knowledge. I'm saying.
Yeah, but that is important, because in this day and age where knowledge is information, that's the word, information is available. You have to be in a place where you're able
well said, sir.
You have to.
You got to be able to qualify.
Shift through all of what is out there, and that is why the Word of God says, being able to rightly discern.
And here's something that it's good to understand at a fundamental level: the opinions of others is not knowledge. Just the raw opinion of someone pulling from their imagination a set of ideas on a subject matter. For example, when someone calls and says, someone who says, for example, this or that event affects the fertility rate.
I mean, yesterday.
Like yesterday, we had that conversation.
Yeah, we were saying.
There are some things which, if there's no science, no course of study, no discernible trend, no what you call empirical evidence, when you say it, it's just the random speculation of an
individual,
of a hot imagination.
And
we must know how to distinguish between
question, because you have to. And you know what was significant too, as you say, how are you able to discern? Because if there's a methodology that is set up about how you do the scientific things, and you're doing it. And one of the things that was a big thing that happened in COVID, even in terms of some of the things that people are saying, these things help, and people just threw them out just like that. And there's a study that was released in one of the major scientific journal, which spoke about one of the medication that was widely available, and they used that to out of hand say it can't be used. And when people began to probe, let's go through the scientific methodology. You know, it was a made up experiment. When people say, but what about that? What about that? What about that? And you had to pull it.
Yeah, just somebody had an idea and decided to.
Yeah. And then when people are saying, but if you use that to make decisions, you send us into left field when we really should be in the center.
Yeah.
And that's how important it is in terms of information that we're able to discern in terms of what it is. And importantly, never allow for fear to drive you in terms of your investigations or what you're seeking to do. Because if that is an overarching thing, you're going to get in the problem.
The result you get, it's predetermined.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's some other things, like the fact that something is written, that someone took the time to put it and publish it, does not make it true, credible, or even sensible.
Yeah, because there's
one of the first thing Hitler did was he wrote his Mein Kampf.
Yes.
All his thoughts on various things which related him criminal.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was a Bible. To some people use it, and it is still relevant today for those who want to walk in his footsteps.
In that part, yeah.
Yeah. So it's there. Some people say, "Oh, I read it in this, or I read it in that," or I get a lot of videos.
And check it out. Yeah.
A lot of videos people send to me with this or that, and it's always someone expressing an opinion on something. I'm like, why does your opinion rise to the top of anybody's? Because you took the time to put a camera in front of your face and speak it. That's the only qualification.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this really is a time when in your pursuit of knowledge, you really have to be very, very, very careful.
And we have to be so careful against groupthink. The herd
mentality. Yeah.
Everybody going that way thing. A man's gift given in love or courtesy makes room for him and brings him before great men. And this is just this final one. The first one to plead his case seems right.
No, don't leave the gift as yet, because it has that's the amplified version I see you're using, and that just gave it an intonation of bribery.
Yeah.
A man's gift given in love or courtesy makes room
for him
and brings him before great men. In the traditional, I'm saying traditional because I just mean old by traditional, like in King James and other versions, the gift is expressed more as meaning a natural talent or ability that he has, which will draw him to the attention of those who require that particular skill. So if you sing well, you'll find yourself invited to sing for the king. Dance well, sew well, cook well, whatever special aptitude the Lord has put in you will make space for you in the world. So there's always room at the top, and your excellence will take you there. But that amplified version speaks to the giving of gifts. Now, if you give a gift in love or courtesy, or
an open door,
it can open doors for you.
Important people,
and that sounds like corruption.
It sounds like that.
But either way, because if you decide that you want to make a gift to the mayor because there's something wonderful that has come out of your garden and you want to take it to the mayor, and when you arrive and people say the excellence of the gift, they will say, the mayor would love this.
Yes.
Before you know it, you are in his worship's presence and you have an opportunity to do something. So either way, the natural and the spiritual meaning are at one.
Yeah.
But the gift can be of different flavors.
But you see, if you read that in the context of the Hebrew, and my learned Hebrew friend would tell me, Moshe would say, but the first one to plead as we come up to 7 o'clock, the first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. You know that?
I know.
You know that very well.
Two sides to every story.
Yes.
And the thing seems like it's impossible until another man come and tell you.
What do you think about that, Auntie?
Just how possible
that takes us into our 7 o'clock break, because then it sets the stage for us to examine some of the things that are happening, because a whole heap of things are in the paper today and we're in the news and so on that we need to examine. You say something, but then somebody come and say, you did think about that? You did think about that?
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, I never thought about that. And then it balances out, because we've been hearing a lot of things in the media, especially in terms of the Integrity Commission, because we left that yesterday, and we want to examine some
fresh headlines this morning. Yeah.
And what happened in Gregory Park. Yeah.
You see a plan
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
The government has been leading the charge to provide universal access for persons with disabilities. That is why the Education Ministry, through the National Education Trust, NET, has undertaken to ensure that plans for all infrastructure development projects comply with the Disabilities Act. The NET is charged with mobilizing resources and investments for the education sector. Executive Director Latoya Harris-Garty says the focus is to make sure school plans provide ease of access, especially for persons with disabilities. Bathroom access, chairlifts, and wheelchair ramps are being installed in several schools.
Peter Grove Academy has a chairlift that has never been used, and I think that school has been around a little bit now, at least 5 years, but it is there in the event that students stay there. There are schools that we recognize that the chairlift is needed based upon the fact that it's multi-story. So like Sydney Keegan, we're currently working on putting doing chairlift on infrastructure there. Mountain Joseph were actually doing a build out there and going back to previous build out at the chairlift to the infrastructure. A lot of what we did on the two ramp was just to put a ramp to access at least the first floor. But with the chairlift, you can access multiple floors.
Chairlift works are underway at Homewood Technical High Manchester and Bridgeport High St. Catherine. Construction will start shortly at Exchange College in St. Anne, and approvals are pending from the Municipal Authority for Cedric Titus and Albertown High in Trelawney. Additionally, 94 schools have wheelchair ramps installed under the Wheelchair Ramps in Schools project. The government is also taking a proactive approach to meeting the needs of disabled students who are leaving the primary level.
What we want to encourage the schools to do is, especially for this incoming school year, for the students who are doing tech, when they're selecting their schools, there is a section on that form that the schools to pay particular attention to, in which they know whether or not the child has a physical or any other disability. What this does for the ministry is to filter so that they are aware, and when they're doing the placement, they'll do that and put them in schools that are already equipped.
Executive Director at the National Education Trust, Latoya Harris Garty, and the private sector is not to be left behind. Companies are also playing their part by engaging in corporate social responsibility activities that target persons with disabilities. Executive Director at the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, Dr. Christine Hendricks, says several businesses have been providing various benefits to members of the disabled community and encourage their participation.
Everybody would know about Digicel. I know that right now through Digicel Foundation, once they are registered with us, for persons who are blind, visually impaired, deaf or hard of hearing, they can get various benefits when they purchase data or credit for their phone. Cement company recently who had training in the Harborview area, training for people and included
Sports increasing investment. A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
And the world, you want us back? We are back. The Brave Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's Raw Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 3 by 7 and 9. Come on out, come on out.
Lord need a prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course the Bishop, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to live.
Ready for the war, ready for the war.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly defined, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Get inspired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection.
7:10 a.m. and we're knee deep. It feels like we've been going for longer than we really have. But you took us through those verses of Proverbs, which every one of them could keep us for a whole show. Yes. Each verse has enough in it for us to chew on for 2 hours. But you wanted to open with some commentary on what is happening on the pages of Jamaica News today. I want to start, however, I listened to the Prime Minister making his comments, as he toured the, burnt out area in St. Catherine. And one of the things that I think this Prime Minister Holness has been leader of his party since, 2010, 2011? A lot of time. I mean, that is, some people don't keep a job that long. There are marriages that fail before they reach 10, 11 years. So he's had a lot of time learning how to respond in situations of crisis, stress. There is absolutely no need for our Prime Minister to continue this business of using the opportunity of great disaster in people's life to score political punches or points or whatever it is he thinks he's doing, when standing in the ruin of the people's home, he makes a statement that they are seeking to put systems in place to deal with these terrorists. But there are some people who feel that when they do such things, and it goes off on some meandering sidetrack, that the moment I heard him starting to say, but there are some people, I'm thinking, why is it that our prime minister would use that as the moment to talk about, maybe it is the people who like to, there's a way he refers to the human rights activists who are who sound caution when you try to trample on the rights of others in order to guarantee the safety of others.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I never saw it, but I am looking at what I'm seeing happening. PM Mull's new laws to tackle terrorism, Commissioner Gregory Park talks will be dealt with in the most forceful fashion. And I'm saying to myself, what about we were told about these new laws, these enhanced security measures law that would have come to the fore. He has the majority in the House. He can move through. But as somebody said yesterday, writing in the Gleaner on Sunday, the Constitution of our land, which is the covenant, even though we are saying it needs to be changed, is what governs us at this point in time. And what we are seeing in terms of now the manifestation, in terms of the crime and violence, did not just come about today. What we are seeing manifesting in terms of the breakdown in regards to law and order in our country at this point in time has its antecedents in what happened years ago. And I can take you back to the start of what we call political violence, which has morphed into what is happening with the gangs. But the first set of guns, and I want people to tell me otherwise, because the information is there in terms of the late 60s into the early 70s and what we went through in this country in regards to as a youngster growing up, the all-out political war when people were fighting ideologically over this country, the introduction in our country of guns into the political process, the setting up of garrison communities because we wanted to ensure that we had the votes and so on. So we have a marathon task ahead of us. But let me tell you something. It is us as persons in this country who have to say no. Because, all right, the police have said to us, what we see manifesting is fight over turf. Wonderful. But what about the real police work that needs to be done? Because I'm just looking at the area, and we have allowed for these communities just to become part of what we are as a country. But some of those things, in terms of these, we call them squatter communities. We don't really have squatters in Jamaica. In terms of these communities, is related to the fact of policies that we have done, or we have not enacted, that makes Jamaicans feel that this country is ours. So when we talk about preemptive strike, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Minister of National Security, Dr. Chang, the Commissioner of Police. You have within your arsenal or within your remit the things that can really begin to take care of some of these problems we are having. Because what are we really doing? Do you have the trust that the people who would say, I know so and so and so? This is what we need to do in that whole situation. Because we have to build back trust that people know what they know. And I can tell you, if you go into that community and you do your real work, everybody know who are the perpetrators in regards to this. And we can seek to understand what is behind of it. And some of the things that are behind what we see being manifest, beyond the fight for turf, related to the lack of opportunities in our country for our young people, the breakdown in family life. So the gang now becomes my family and I'll do whatever it is to deal with it. And then now, a major thing, if we are finding, even in terms of this whole thing, that when we are tracking the steps and we see the connections to people in high places, are we willing to do what is necessary in order to deal with it? Or when we're doing the investigation and the information, the evidence is pointing to certain sources, are we willing as leaders to take it front on? And that is the question that is out there. When the evidence leads back to certain sources, certain people, are we willing to confront, to arrest? Are we willing to deal with it? Or are we just saying, we're going to talk and we're going to say preemptive strike and what we're going to do? But are we really, 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 really interested in doing what is right? And juxtapose against this preemptive strike, we hear Chuck saying, do not prejudge lawmakers under integrity commission scrutiny. Corruption in one area, alleged corruption in another area, but yet we don't know who are these persons, 6 members of the lower house, who are being investigated by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment. And you and me have seen over the last 2 to 3 months what the government side has done in terms of trying to destroy the Integrity Commission and the work that they are doing. We are not saying that what they are doing is perfect, but the Integrity Commission acts as a safeguard against corruption, because there's corruption within our politicians and people in public life. And then we see what is being manifest on the other side in terms of crime and violence. And if you talk to a lot of persons within our society, there's a link. There is a link. There is a link, my friends, between what we see manifested in crime and violence and what we see being manifested in the house in terms of people saying the Integrity Commission going after the persons and the work that they are doing. Let us connect the dots as Jamaicans and really begin to ask those questions. I'm not saying for any moment that we must not deal with the purpose at the lower level who have perpetrated these acts of terrors, not only in Gregory Park, but in other areas. We see what's happening in St. James. We see what has happened in parishes that we never hear about crime and violence or gang things. So we need now to say, okay, now, can we, as a people, because I'm a part of the people of Jamaica, can we come up with solutions that are sustainable and far-reaching and bring about the real change that needs to happen in regards to us as a nation? This is wrong. I remember Gregory Park, too, is very close to what happened in St. Catherine, where persons had been building structures, and then the state power went and said, no, you can't do this. And they bulldoze persons' houses, and the prime minister then said, it was gangs and so on. And then when you see this lady who hustled and did her thing, I say, oh, that's a gang person. Oh boy, you're saying, wow. Some of the times, where is the information or the advisors who are advising the political directorate on what needs to happen? Because as I said earlier this morning, and I'll say in a minute, this Proverbs 18 and verse 17 speaks to this situation. It says clearly, that you present your case, the first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. Mr. Prime Minister, we can fix the situation without trampling on the rights of the citizens that you are called to govern. Yeah. He says the act carried out in Gregory Park was not one carried out by just gangsters. He said it is an act of terror designed to spread fear because the criminals hold a different belief. We fear no one, he lamented. Who is directing them? Who are they connected to? Important questions. Important question. Who is directing them and who are they connected to? You're going to find the people, Mr. Prime Minister. But when you see the connections and where it leads you, do you have the courage to prosecute those individuals under the law as it is? And let us not get into what I would call a political cascas about, because the People's National Party, rightly so, has pushed back against the government use of states of emergency as a crime fighting tool. We are saying, like yesterday, for a whole hour, these people are doing what they're doing. So where's the police in the area? Because the Gregory Park police station is not far from what is happening. They never heard. They never got any calls to say that even in this era where there's whole heap of zinc fence, that this was happening. Come on. Come on. And then we have the show. Let's do the real policing before. Because when things are going down, and I know, we all know, those of us who have worked in it, people know, they hear it. And then when it does happen, they know who the perpetrators are. But the question is, do you trust do you trust the security forces? We really trust our security forces. So in terms of doing real hard policing, soft policing, building back the trust that is needed, because we have to fix this. This is Jamaicans like ourselves who are going through what is happening. We have to fix it too. So we fix it in terms of the policing. We have to fix it in terms of governance and those who lead us. So don't prejudge lawmakers under IC scrutiny. Yeah. And listen to what the Joint Select Committee is seeking to do. Okay. So we made presentations to the Joint Select Committee in about the Integrity Commission. Well, I tell you, we have this double speak. What he called a what if concern regarding the potential for a conflict of interest. It needs to be openly discussed in the public interest. You remember, even as we hear Mr. Chuck talking about don't prejudge, these same people on the government side have not signed to the 7 principles that were put to them. The opposition has signed. And my question is, now the light and the entrance of light shines a lot, I think, in terms of people motivation. So now it's come out. We are looking at amending Section 36 to make it very clear that if a department or ministry or individual is under investigation, once they are given the opportunity to respond to the claim or allegation, it forms a part of a report, and that report can be taken. Yeah, when the next session resumes in September.
You know, I think that's something we had said too, that it was a limitation that you couldn't speak without first putting your report to Parliament. But there was nothing to stop you from doing your report to Parliament on matters which warranted it. And apparently Mr. Chuck made a similar suggestion. The Integrity Commission's response is kind of odd, because they are actually saying, if the mischief which the gag clause was meant to cure is to prevent any disparagement of a person whilst under investigation, then to report on the investigation and thereby let it into the public domain would not work, because the speculation would still be rife until the investigation is complete. But I think the Integrity Commission is wrong as to the mischief. The mischief cannot be to protect the reputation of parliamentarians over and above the public interest in knowing where there might be a possible, compromission. I think the mischief was to ensure that since this commission reports to Parliament, that Parliament is aware of what they are doing before the public gets the information. So, they say loose lips sink ships. You don't want a commission that reports to Parliament be out there speaking ahead of the office to which they report. That would be like your downline staff putting information to the media before you know it. And I think that's the mischief. That could only be the mischief, because the reputation of parliamentarians is not of any greater value or importance than the reputation of other Jamaicans and other persons in the public service. I came back in time to get the 7:30 break.
Yes.
Yes.
Getting fired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray, or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
Miss Wire. Greetings. I go by the name of Miss Wire Waste. Catch me on Best 100. I will be discovering the greatness of Jamaica and Jamaicans through people, places, and things, home and abroad. Playing you some good music, along with interviewing artists, soundmen, producers, and Jamaicans making a difference all over the world. So catch me between the hours of 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday to Thursday on Best 100 FM.
I saw you stepping from across the street, smiling happily with everyone.
Make an impact on your career. Earn real money. Get 3 to 4 local and international certification in practical nursing and early childhood education with free CXC or CAPE subjects in 6 to 12 months at Distinction College, located at 26 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 6 Nugent Street, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios. Earn global certificates in 3 months in geriatric nursing, phlebotomy, childcare. We have the lowest school fees around. Classes begin very soon. Call us 356-4167.
Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. Percy, sorry I left you with the
No, man, it's okay.
with the weight of the paper.
No, but I was just commenting on
Yes.
this whole thing. Not good. We're getting the words. But I do believe, as I was saying, that the perpetrators can be brought to justice. But there are things that we need to fix, build up the trust between the police and the residents. But also,
you're talking about Gregory Park.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Gregory Park is in the news, but there are similar situations that have happened in different pockets, like in St. Mary, in St. James, where if the police does their work and the evidence point to persons, and the persons of note, are we gonna go all the way in regards to dealing with it, or we're going to, as per usual? No, we can't touch that one because it's time, I believe.
I hear you say as per usual.
Yes.
Which I wouldn't say cynical. Maybe it's just a fair commentary on how things have gone in this nation, where we can only fry small fish. Our pot not big enough. We don't have enough oil.
Okay.
We tend to go for the lowest ranking offender And that seems to be it. But always on the platforms, you hear talk of dealing with the bigger ones. I hear you hear it all the time that this type of organized activity points to a bigger brain, more resources, some higher placed individuals, but we never seem to land any of those. Now, I'm going to connect two dots. Only two. Only two.
Only two?
In a whole long line, I'm just going to connect two dots. Minister Chuck said...
I connected that dot.
Yeah, Minister Chuck said, speculations about the nature of the illicit enrichment shouldn't be pursued. Because, says he, there might be explanations that the persons have not yet disclosed to the commission for the illicit enrichment. He says there might be an easy explanation as to how they came by the property.
Really?
That's what he said. So I'm going to put some processes. Yeah, I'm going to make some, If I were arguing this case, I would say, okay, the statutory declaration is a very simple document, which it is self-explanatory.
I know.
So your first opportunity to give your easy explanation is when you're completing the document. After you've completed the document and the commission asks for further explanations, you have a second opportunity to give your easy explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there may be some back and forth as your professionals, which by this time must include your bank, your accountant, your lawyer. And your tax records are part and parcel of where this is going. If it survives, if the commission is still not satisfied and their query survives to the point where they are now moving it to a higher level, any explanation you have cannot be regarded as easy. So Mr. Chuck is plain 100% wrong to put into the public domain the idea. That's why I tell you, all this is not knowledge. No one should read what has been written here by Mr. Chuck and feel that they have been edified, meaning they've been educated on some issue. He's treating us as if we're children who can't think beyond the first two steps in an argument. For it to be an easy explanation, it would have been offered in the first instance on your declaration, and in the second, when the Integrity Commission write you and ask you a question. This business about 6 people being under investigation has been in the public domain for a long time. So the time for giving easy explanation gone so far, it's so far in the rearview mirror that it is disingenuous of Mr. Chuck to even raise it.
This is the same.
But now, when you look at persons being investigated for illicit enrichment, and you are looking at a level of organized criminal activity that there's no easy explanation, you think that Jamaicans are not doing the math?
Is math you call it?
It's math because it's enrichment.
Oh my Lord.
And to me, it's way more damaging to our democracy, to our parliamentarians, to just the maintenance of good order. It's way more damaging for us to be left out there speculating about, okay, so if people are financing crime and you don't know who, men in the shadows, and over here you have some people with unexplained wealth, could there be a connection? It's way more damaging to leave us
in the dark
doing that kind of speculation than to just come outright and say, I am investigating Minette, Lowell, Lloyd, and Percy. Then we can say, well, Minette now have no connection to this. Percy live over there, so we can say, you know what? I don't think. It's way healthier to be open about what you're doing than to leave us to just be drawing lines and maybe getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what? They will never know. They'll never know how they've been damaged in our thoughts, in our perception, because we won't come out and say it. You'll just find that the peace you used to enjoy, you'll see that you get old and nobody even visit you. Which is why, I would say, a lot of our politicians die in virtual isolation and neglect. And people say, oh, this one was a good public servant. This one did that. This one did that. And then there are some others who are revered right up to the last moment they have on earth. Why do you think that happens?
Because they were people of integrity?
Yeah. And sometimes some get a bad name simply because there was no transparency around their operations and their affairs. Transparency is a blessing all the time. All the time. Light. You may not like what you see. You may have different views on how it should really be, but at least it's plain. It's in plain view. And you can misdescribe it over there, but if somebody come and look, they see for themselves.
When you ask the question, you talk and then examine it.
Yes.
But let's start the headlines yesterday. Scammers, moms.
Oh. You got me again.
Yeah.
We're spending all kinds of time on fruitless endeavors and just being disrespectful
to us as people.
To the people, while we are bending over backwards to protect what is not even worth protecting. Because you know what? The day comes when the light is shone on all these ugly places. That's why I'm referred to Mr. Trump this morning. I don't know where it is going. The process is what is engaging to me. He may be completely vindicated, but you know what? The process is important because the behavior seemed so outrageous as it was occurring. And it empowered, there were like 2 or 3 other nations went to election and the loser behaved in the same way like Mr. Trump. So people look and they say, oh, you could do that. Let me try it. In Brazil, it went bad in Brazil because they actually lost some national treasures in the process. Things were destroyed when the loser threw a tantrum and did not want to let go of the scepter of power. And we see here in Jamaica a propensity to just use your authority and just railroad anybody who seems to stand in your way. Even if you're not standing in your way, the sweep of power is so overwhelming that it shuts down any kind of protest before it can be launched. And that is the death of democracy. And you're feeling quite powerful and you're doing it and you think you're going to enjoy it. But in the end, that really is no strong tower. That is built on the imagination of man and it will fall.
Well, it's instructive that what we're reading was written
many years ago. Because what changes about, the wisdom of God is unchanging. Meanwhile, in the West, Mr. Tufton.
Meanwhile, in the West, I like it.
Mr. Tufton struggling with the problem that is the Cornwall Regional Hospital. And let me tell you, Cornwall Regional Hospital has become symbolic of a rot in the system that even when Cornwall is rebuilt, if the rot in the system is not dealt with, all the money you spend on Cornwall won't make a difference. Here's what is happening. So patients have resorted to lying on the floor while waiting for care. Now, lying on a hospital floor, you must know, that's like lying on the airport carpet. You're gone far. You mean you're just leaving yourself now. You're saying, God is me and you, because only you gonna keep me safe from whatever is on this floor.
Germs and things.
Yeah. Patients have resorted to lying on the hospital floor. That speaks to a number of things. That's not peculiar to Cornwall Regional Hospital, because I know of at least one person who died at home because the wait at the emergency place was displeasing to him and he went home and was found dead later in the night.
In the West?
No, this is in Kingston. I'm saying it's not peculiar. Someone, yeah.
Oh, that gentleman.
Yeah, that gentleman. And we've heard other callers have said they go to Spanish Town or they go to Maypen, and the treatment and the process and the clinics where the long lines and the shortage of doctors and absolutely. So it is not peculiar to Cornwall Regional Hospital. It's something that is definitely deep in our system that we do not have. We are not expending the resources, nor are we introducing systems that deliver humane or satisfactory health care to the poor people of this nation. Because, on the other hand, there are persons who, that if Tony Thwaite's wing can't accommodate them, or a private hospital can't accommodate them, they leave the country. So you know that this is a problem that affects those who don't have the resources to just go to a private facility of their choice and get better care. So it's the poor people. And in particular, Percival, it is people of a certain age, because there comes a point when you don't have the income to allow you to pay for the quality service that you require. And that problem, as we live for longer, becomes
greater.
We have increased the pensionable age, or we have extended. Let me put it the right way. We have extended the working life
of people.
So it means that persons are going to be working for longer, carrying greater stress, and probably needing more health care. Not probably, and needing more health care of a certain value. So you're looking at a problem that is only growing.
Unless you exercise, eat right.
And that brings you to another thing concerning the infrastructure. Exercise, if it's walking on the road, that is increasing your risk of death by motor vehicle manslaughter. Facilities across the nation to allow persons to even walk safely.
Remember, Constance will run out no bus now.
Or sidewalk.
Yeah. Space.
Or if you want to walk late in the evening, street light.
Aye.
Then you have crime and violence in the communities that might prevent people from stepping out of their house. This is a... You know, I thought you were going to say to me, unless you sign up for one of the divine plans, because it also comes with great medical, because God is still healing people.
You understand? We say it in jest, but...
No, I don't say it in jest. I'm very, very serious. I said it to Laura the other day. I said, well, you know, it's a good thing we're on that health plan, because how else would we? A friend of mine told me of his sister sustained a fall. Spinal injury.
Oh, geez.
She's in her 70s for sure. Lowell, would that be in her 70s? Or friend who suffered the spinal injury and had to do surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she would be close to her 70s, between 60, 70. Anyway, she's a woman of mature years, completely immobilized. Had to be at home with like nursing care and so on. Just now regaining some level of mobility. Yeah. Her operation required her to sell everything she had, and she still owed. The cost of the surgery was her medical thing was $7 million. Just imagine you in your 60s or 70s, retired, needing to come out of pocket with $7 million, and she had some health insurance, which carried part of it. You're condemned to death if you're not on that one of those health plans. I said to Laura, but it's a good thing we're on this health plan, because with all and there are many people across the nation who are in that. So what they're doing now, they lie on the floor at the hospital while waiting.
And
Minister Tufton is saying
social patients, they carry them to the infirmary.
Well,
that's what you said.
Yeah, you have that problem too. that persons who have been treated and discharged can't leave, have no place to go.
Yeah.
So that's a situation of both homelessness and not having enough infrastructure to deal with persons who fall in that category. Yes.
I know. Thank God for family.
Remember, we had that lady. She was in the news recently. Her son has a mental illness and was released from Bellevue, or treated at Bellevue, released. And at 90 years old, she was terrified that she now would have to take care of her son, who was in his 50s. And the stories just keep multiplying. We have not expended the money to provide for our people, either as age becomes a challenge, or illness, whether it is mental or physical, become a challenge. Here is Mr. Tufton saying that the opposition, anytime a sitting minister or government keeps talking about the opposition, it tells me they're not in control of their shop. There's a practical reality that we face, which clearly the opposition is either not understanding or ignoring for their own purposes. The opposition's job is to challenge you on these areas where you fall short.
And they did that very well. So no, it's on the other foot now.
Yes.
Castigating the people.
Yes. For their own purposes. What a purpose would they have to remain silent in the face of the suffering of the people? What we need to do now is wait and see what they will do when they take the government.
But what is, I believe very strongly with all of my heart at this age of time in Jamaica, I haven't seen enough storms and hurricanes that within us as a people lie the answers. But our leaders are not tapping into it. In a real way, we become leaders and we forget where we are coming from, and we think we know it all. And the story I keep, the one with the truck and the military thing.
Yes, yeah.
Oh man, the answers are within our people. But I guess when we reach a thing, we say we know it all, and what I say is what must go on. Somebody said, but you did think about that. You thought about that, and how can we now work to fix it together? So this whole thing of improving the social capital in our country, to move it forward. We need it now more than ever.
Mr. Guy says, recently, Minister Tufton glowingly reported on the commendable progress in the construction of the adolescent hospital on the same property as CRH, while ignoring poor patient care in that hospital. He said that despite repeatedly bringing to Tufton's attention the problems many Jamaicans face in accessing public health care, not enough is being done to address the issue. However, Tufton and the senior medical officer at Cornwall have attributed the overcrowding at that facility to the recurring issue of social cases, patients who have concluded their medical treatment but have been abandoned by relatives. The hospital is operating at, actually I'm not going to want to tell you now, the hospital is operating at 100% bed occupancy with between 30 and 40 cases of social patients. That would only be relevant if they had 100 beds.
Yeah.
30 to 40 cases of social patients? How is that even an issue when you're talking about poor patient care at your entry level? Yeah. You don't as yet know if some of the people lying on the floor are going to be admitted.
So you see,
they think we're idiots.
How does
you have 30 or 40 persons who don't need to be in a hospital bed? When we had the pandemic, same health ministries, how much millions of dollars they're being investigated for? $400 million of people, of hotel accommodation. You're telling me that you have 40 persons who are taking up beds in the hospital, and none of them have a single idea on how they could even say, let us organize 40 bedrooms, whether it is through some kind of foster care arrangement, whatever. They spent $400 million during COVID time just lighting up hotel contracts.
That's one.
One.
That's just one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that for years, you have 30 to 40 persons who should not be in hospital, and you cannot figure out how you are going to accommodate these Jamaicans so that the hospital bed can be given to people who need it. Even as they are building their adolescent hospital.
Let's sketch it now. 400 beds. Number of beds, 400 beds. That's what.
So there are 400 beds, and 30 or 40 of them from time to time have people who don't need to be there. And you're raising that in addressing why people waiting to get care are lying on the floor and on chairs. Oh, I feel like this must be how the Auditor General feel when she have to be making obvious points in her report.
It don't speak highly of.
It's because you don't care about people, Percival. We know how that happens. You don't care about people. And that's what Dr. Guy is referring to. Poor patient care. Not poor patients, The care is poor. The patients are also poor. If not, they would never be there.
4,000 beds or 400 beds?
4,000 beds.
4,000 beds, but this says number of beds 400.
But this says 4,000, so something is wrong.
More 400 beds.
They don't have no 4,000 beds.
4,000 beds? You know what a 4,000 bed hospital is? Oh man, it's miscode.
Yes, they're being misquoted. Yeah. I would say so too.
Yeah.
But you're on Cornwall Regionals. You're on their website, and they said they have 400 beds.
So 4,000 beds?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you always
at any point in time, we have between 6 and 12% of our 4,000 beds that are occupied by patients or residents.
Yeah, it's 400 beds. Yeah. But when you normally speak in hyperbole, that is
that's what gets done.
No, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's unfortunate. Yes,
and the minister is talking about moving people into a holding area. Just to say holding area when you're referring to people is an offense.
Like cows?
Yes, a pen.
A pen, cows.
We move patients into a holding area and place them in a reclining chair, the minister said. It's just disgraceful. That's what it is. I think if you were designing hell, the design would be to inflict on persons the same treatment they inflicted on others.
You see that happening in a lot of movies.
Yes. As I said it, I immediately thought about one. I would like Mr. Tufton to be sick. And no, I wouldn't like you to be sick, sir. I take that back. Badly phrased. I would like you to have an experience similar to what you have consigned Jamaicans who are sick and needy. You would need to be in exactly the same mindset and experience what they're experiencing. So you could walk in their shoes and understand that a sick person who goes to a hospital expecting care and is put in a holding area on a chair, when they don't know, the first thing, when you're sick and you have, the first thing is you go to the hospital because you want to know what ails me, what is wrong. You may have a pain in your toe, and by the time you get to the hospital, you're convinced that it's cancer. So with that state of anxiety, you are then set to cool your heels in a waiting area or a holding pen where people go to die. Sad. But all of that, if somebody had a heart for persons, for people,
do you know,
would be a different thing.
This is in my general thought. When you have a heart for people, in terms of not seeing them as just a number, it changes the way that you deal with people.
Oh, Percy, you would fight to the last to make sure. And even if you couldn't change their experience, they would know how much you have tried. I mean,
like a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
You put, so it's the compassion.
Yeah. I've had people say things like, it's okay, it's okay, it's all right, it's all right. Because they see that you want to do even more than they need. On the other hand, same place in the West, I'm liking Mr. Chang's comments here about the Haitians.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's the right statement. Yeah. It's what he says. We will look after you.
Yeah.
Showing a heart that we've just been longing to see, a display of heart. Can you imagine 801?
Yes.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
You're simply the You're simply the
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. Police in Britain have arrested and charged 3 Bulgarian nationals suspected of spying for Russia in what's been described as a major national security operation. They're due to be tried in January. Daniel De Simone reports.
The 3 Bulgarian defendants, 2 men and a woman, are charged with possessing fake identity documents with improper intention. They include passports and identity cards for the UK, Bulgaria, France, Italy, Spain, Croatia, Slovenia, Greece, and the Czech Republic. Orlin Rusov, Biza Djampazov, and Katrin Ivanova were arrested under the Official Secrets Act in February. It is alleged they were working as intelligence operatives for the Russian state.
Marking the 2nd anniversary of their return to power, Afghanistan's Taliban government has said the conquest of Kabul paved the way for the establishment of the Islamic system in the country. They said Afghanistan was a safer place now that foreign troops were gone. Here's the BBC's international correspondent, Lise Doucette.
2 years on, not a single country has formally recognized the Taliban government. The spokesman, Zabiullah Mujahid, insisted Afghanistan was a better, safer place now that foreign troops were gone. He said decrees which ban girls from going to high school and women from most workplaces wouldn't be there forever. He accused the international community of only focusing on this issue to put pressure on them. The UN says this situation may amount to gender apartheid.
Donald Trump and his allies have condemned criminal charges brought against them by the US state of Georgia and accused the district attorney of political interference. The indictment lists 13 counts against the former president, who's accused of engaging in a criminal enterprise to overturn the result of the 2020 US presidential election in the state. Sean Dilley has more.
Ultimately, there are 19 defendants in this case. Donald Trump is just one of those. Normally, the next step after an indictment is the arraignment, which in US legal terms just means it's the first court appearance. It's the start of the criminal trial process. It's pretty much unthinkable that Donald Trump wouldn't surrender to that. We've seen from his other 3 cases in different parts of the United States, not only that he does turn up to court, but actually his poll ratings benefit from his appearances. This one's pretty serious, and some of the charges carry up to 20 years in prison.
Japan has issued a heavy rain alert in Tottori Prefecture on the main island of Honshu as a powerful storm batters the region. The weather agency says Typhoon Lang has dumped a month's worth of rain in some areas. It's urging people to stay vigilant as landslide and flood warnings are in place. BBC News. International aid agencies have warned that the situation is spiralling out of control in Sudan, with mass displacement and millions on the verge of famine. The heads of 20 global organisations said 14 million children needed humanitarian aid and more than 4 million people had fled their homes. Our Africa regional editor Richard Hamilton reports.
The signatories include United Nations agencies along with charities such as Save the Children and CARE. Save the Children estimated that by September, 17,000 children in Sudan would be experiencing extreme hunger every day. 4 months of fighting between Sudan's army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces have devastated parts of Darfur and the capital Khartoum. The agencies warn that time is running out for farmers to plant their crops.
The winning party in Thailand's election, Move Forward, says it will not support its former coalition partner's candidate for Prime Minister in a vote in Parliament. It said the prospective government, headed by the Pheu Thai party, was not reflective of the people's voice and accused the alliance of containing pro-military parties. Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has cancelled a trip to Australia, New Zealand and Fiji after her government plane had to make an emergency landing for the second time in 2 days. The Airbus A340, operated by the German military, had trouble retracting its flaps after taking off from Abu Dhabi on its way to Australia. Spain have qualified for the final of the Women's World Cup, beating Sweden 2-1 in a dramatic match in Auckland. All 3 goals came towards the end of the second half. In the final, Spain will face either England or the co-hosts Australia, who play in the second semi-final on Wednesday. World News from the BBC.
Our world is changing rapidly, and our most valuable resource will be our teachers. They are the key to preparing us for the future. The government of Jamaica is investing in education teachers through scholarships in the field of STEM studies, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Apply for a STEM scholarship for the opportunity to get qualified to pursue a rewarding career as a STEM teacher. Find out more at www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. Sign up for a STEM scholarship today. Conditions apply.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Get inspired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, aka the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Ready for the warfare, oh yeah. Ready for the warfare.
And the world, you want us back? We are back. The True Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to live.
Oh yeah. Ready for the warfare. Ready for the warfare.
Fearless and love more. Cause you open up the door.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibilion, each and every Friday. giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. 8:11 a.m. Time to open the lines. Remember the numbers to call: 876-619-1508 and 876-279-8473. We've been talking a lot about what's on the front pages. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I reaching Bible talk?
You think it's Bible talk?
You have the wrong number,
You
sir.
have the wrong number. It's not no Bible talk. It's principles. It's principles. It's principles, my friend. Jigsaw.
We're going to start charging him for that bad joke.
You
need a new opening line.
You see all this Bible?
Yes.
I'm going to brand it. Make some money.
You're going to make some money. Okay, what's up?
Anyhow, good morning. Good morning to you both, the team and the listeners. Where shall I start? I mean, we have the Constitution of the people, which is a serious thing of covenant, right? I don't think we understand what we have ahead of us, right? Because away from a modern constitution that would take us down the rest of the century, we need to look back at the laws before 1962, right? And we look at the segment, the laws.
But you know, Jigsaw.
Can I finish? There are three segments I want to speak.
Well, yeah, you have to move a little faster, my brother.
Between 1944 and 62, and between 1830.
But why is that necessary? Why are you saying we have to do such a historical journey?
No, we have laws on the book that is interfering with us to determine a proper constitution. If you check it out.
No, I wouldn't put it that way. Because because even when we got our constitution in 1962, they simply with one stroke of the pen said anything up to this date, no, not relevant, repealed. And after this date, only these few things should continue to apply. So you don't even have to look at them. It's like the fact of the matter is most of those, nobody even reverts to them unless they're trying to make some mischief. So why I'm saying it only because we don't want persons to think that this is some hugely technical and complex process. You know, the way Miss Malahoo Fort has been putting it, giving the ordinary Jamaican the impression that there is something really technical that they might not have a place in it. That's the only reason I'm making the comment. I understand your point that there are ancient laws. You know, I've said it myself. But you can just, you know, let's say if you haven't worn something for 2 years, just throw it out. You don't have to examine it if it have holes or whatever. It's of no relevance. So that's your first point, is that we need to make sure we get rid of the old.
Yeah, are you saying that was done in 1962?
Yes, in 1962, two things happened. We used to be subject to UK Parliament laws. They just brought that to a close. And they said all laws up to a certain point are repealed.
A year. Up to what point? Which years?
1962. Because it was a fresh start. We were drawing a line in the sand. The Jamaican Parliament took over from that date. And with the exception of some specific things which they carried forward, they said anything that is inconsistent with this constitution is repealed, unlawful, not binding on anyone. So this is what we need to do as we usher in our new season. One by one, you see that the government is trying to do, like, they repeal the Obia Act. But when you start to single them out like that, persons who don't have a right understanding of what you're doing, people think we've legalized Obia, for example, because we repealed the Obia Act. So sometimes you create more confusion, singling it out and treating it as a...
I'm not saying to single them out,
I know, my brother. I wasn't accusing you of that.
The constant issue of land and land tenure.
Yes.
That's troubling us in terms of development.
Yeah, but we have a Registration of Titles Act, and we have a process that is recognized as being credible for bringing land under the Registration of Titles system. The structures on the social side, which could help to encourage and bring people into an understanding of it so we can do the work that is necessary, those are lacking. Much as earlier we were talking about the lack of proper infrastructure to ensure that citizens get reasonably good medical care. You have policy, you have law, you have something in place, but the journey to get to it and to enjoy it is a hazardous one for the citizens. And the honest truth is, even when you get the Constitution right, that work remains to be done. We promise, we tend to promise a lot on paper, and then we under-deliver in the real world. And that is always a matter of heart and integrity. And we got to get over that.
Which is my point, yeah.
But go ahead. You said you had that. There was that first for the constitutional review.
You loaded me up there.
I apologize. Go ahead with your other 2 points. No, man, go ahead. It's a conversation,
I think I remember now. Marcus Garvey.
What about Marcus Garvey?
I'm asking if Marcus Garvey week this week.
Well, I don't know about the week, but I know tomorrow is the day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you encapsulate the week.
Yes.
So we need to do some work on it or some exposure to what there is about Marcus Garvey. So we, in general, we know very little about his philosophy and opinion. It's to guide us to organize ourselves in the country. Yeah, I have something to say, otherwise, but I get to be off here.
Okay, all right, my brother. Thank you as always.
Yeah. So this Colin, your friend.
Who, Gordon?
My friend Gordon.
Yes.
Him say draw.
Oh, when in doubt, draw. Yeah, Gordon is a serious domino man. And he was outlining the strategy when you have a hand to play, how you make your choice. But here he was using
thing with the auditor.
He was using domino as an allegory for what's happening in the public space concerning the filing of the lawsuit by the opposition. The opposition draw a card. I think he's approving of the draw. It's really where it goes. Yeah, he's approving of the draw.
Draw a bad card.
No, I'm saying this is a good card.
It's a good card.
Yeah. He says, and it's the government's fault because it looked like the government play a bad hand.
Yeah,
and teased out a good hand from the opposition. But I told you, I am pleased with the level of activism and commentary that I'm seeing reported on the pages. 2 things are pleasing about it. One, it is being reported.
It is being reported.
Yes. because sometimes these things are happening, but nobody's reporting on it. You don't know that it's happening. There is a shift. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you, my brother?
Good morning, Mr. Wayne. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. I meditate upon when I tune in when me hear the other matter about the corruption,
yes,
and the health problem,
Yes.
But for what you find my spirit I sing about something. My spirit I sing about, mama. Truth set us free.
Oh, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Yeah, the truth will set us free, right? And my spirit I think again. And a judgment I go set you free. And a mercy I go set you free. The truth. It's the truth. Because we look into history, we say God show man mercy and say that then get better, then get worse. We say God punish people and say that then get better, then get worse. So maybe they are thinking about.
Yes. What is it about the truth that brings freedom when other things don't?
Yeah.
But then you have to examine what is really freedom, because when you have the truth and the truth produces a result in your spirit, it is what you do with that freedom which gives meaning to the freedom. If you're judged, judgment don't lead to freedom, because judgment is a constraint. If you're judged, you might be sentenced, you might be condemned, whatever it is. And when you're receiving mercy, mercy comes after judgment. Mercy is tied up in the judgment. You've been judged, and the Lord is merciful in the execution of the judgment. But freedom, I think we are designed to move towards freedom, that freeing up of oneself. Really, it's freedom to worship. But at the very least, it means you have now the information, the material on which you can choose where to go, what to do, and you're not in any way constrained by either ignorance or fear or lack. Because when you have the truth, no matter what the truth pertains to, it is a complete, it's complete knowledge. Whatever the truth pertains to. Of course, you know that when we say truth, and especially if you're saying truth in scripture, we're talking about the Christ. He is the truth. And in him is the wisdom of God. So
that's why I declared and said, I am the truth.
Yesterday.
And he's the one that set you free. It's not truth in that context is not really knowledge of something in a discrete way. You understand what I'm saying, Wayne? It is the person and the relationship which you have with Christ. When you have the truth, you have him, and he sets you free.
Yesterday, I got to Kingston now I'm boss. So them a play one talk show like this program about the clock at 12. Right? And the brethren talk and them a talk about the country and everything, but it's like them brethren are out about one survey or people do things like that.
Yeah.
Investigate corruption. And they must say, when you see corruption, the way it is, normally you have people in a high places that benefit from it.
Yes,
right? That is what me must say.
That's the conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, as a youth, I grew up in Jamaica, right? So it's my 50 and now. I can remember in my teens. And even before, but especially in my teens, they get a little bigger and can take more notice of what going around here. The political leaders involved in a lot of things going on. Them know what do the things them and they know everything. Really.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, if you listen to a lot of our music, right? Even Bounty Killer. Most of our artists, when they're ready, them sing some music. I tell you about some experience that them have, you know.
Yes.
About corruption in a high places amongst the youths, them, you know. People from in the high places. You understand me?
Yeah.
So, if we don't get rid of the head, the corrupted head, really, if we can't be truthful and face the fact what is really happening and deal with the problem in the head, the head of the society, you know, not going to really stop it so easy down at the bottom, you know.
Well,
you know,
rightly said. And this is
and a few of them people are talk, you know, come and read and attack. I hear them all the while, you know. If you're truly interested in your people being of a high standard, a good moral standard,
yes,
right? They try to bend it key from the young.
Yeah.
So you see our schooling system, the basic, primary,
basic.
We're supposed to put resources behind this program.
And that's how you produce a better quality citizen. We're talking about that yesterday.
Because if the youth them grow up weak in them mind and them education and them morals, it's more easier for them to get captivated with all the corruption we are going.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
You know?
That is proper analysis, my brother.
And there are no shortcuts.
Yeah,
there really are no shortcuts.
And some of them will come out well brilliant too, you know, because you have some very bright people born in some poor people, them called poor people, you know, that will find themselves in position.
Yeah.
And the same corruptedness are going to still implant in them. So all of them have the brains and the intellect.
You have to have the moral underpinnings with it to make it right. Because education without moral, you can have an educated thief. No, say go?
Yeah, so me always say to myself still, you know, probably those up on the top, them, not probably, those up on the top, they're really benefiting from Wagwan. You know, they are benefiting either money-wise, material-wise. You know, those at the bottom, they must face it the hardest. But those in the middle, them fi say, you know, if you don't know, unite and get it and get the right thing done, you might find yourself down at the bottom too. You know? Even if you might still catch on, you have to be kissing a lot of horses.
Okay.
You know, I'm using the word horses are not hot.
Yes, sir. We noticed you didn't have to spell it out. Horses are cute. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I love that analysis. We should have gone back to how the truth factors into that, but I think it leave a nice meditation for the rest of us to pursue in the course of the day.
Yeah, but boy, education, light, sets you free.
I love it that so many roads lead back to the one place because it does simplify your decision making.
That's true.
It simplifies your decision making. Because when you say, you know, the truth, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. First, it is identifying the truth. I hear some say, well, what your truth and my truth and there's one truth. There's a singularity of
yeah, and yesterday we had the discussion with Ed Lighton. We're going back to
the source. What would be the source of the standard that could draw all persons onto the same page where each is blessed by their participation in the standard?
Yeah, because that's where we're going.
Yeah. He struggled a bit, but I pray that he has continued to meditate on it. To know that there's one path. All right, it's 8:30. Let's take the break and then we'll come back to you.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters, auto, have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and then diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040. Or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try calling him, cause trust me.
Winter Volta Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
I'm moving up. Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show. Lassel's Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program and our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly defined, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Morning, welcome back to the Morning Connection. It's now 8:34. I remember the lines are open for you to comment on what you see happening. You know, there are some of our callers who are in the Portmore area who I believe can give us some more insight in terms of what's happening over there in Gregory Park, and to help to shed light, I'd call it, because my thing is what we see happening in Gregory Park, I think has become exasperated because of how the community is set up, the lanes and the zinc fences and things. But some of the same thing is here. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Well, to me, nobody a call. Probably my time to do a little more calling. Anyway, what do you
to talk to you?
What do you, my little girl look for me and she said to me, say, you know, we are ghetto people. So look for me and we say, Daddy, all the woman them say them want bad man, because bad man can defend them. I look for her and I say, all right, baby. Let's see.
How old is the daughter?
Sure, 10 I go to 11, October 11.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I'm looking at them and say, all right then. You see that, baby. You observe that long time. But let us face some facts now. Let us look for some things now, right? If those who them can defend them can dead before the day done, and probably are them dead with them too. And if them can put them faith in a mortal man that can die this very minute as they attack, right? Then just imagine if you put your faith in the Almighty God who made the heavens and the earth and the depths of sea. You know? Because as you gonna get to and have a child growing and get to, you know, and she asks you some question, you know, you have to know if your answer in some logical way, you know.
Yes.
You know? I mean, I say, but baby, imagine if they learn to put them trust in the Almighty God. Because me still not see man save them, me still see them are dead, and who them a put them trust in are dead.
And you now be just moving from one man to the next. But
yeah,
from your understanding of how she sees the world, what does she think these dangers are that women expect a man to defend? What is she talking about? What does she think women are afraid of, or, you know, what kind of problems a woman would say, I need a man to defend me?
Yeah, well, I don't know, I never want to reason with her on the levels there, but she does utter to me one day, and I guess she do that because of where she hear, you know?
Yeah.
You hear and when she speak, you know? Yeah, but I never really want to reason there on the levels there with her.
That's a reasoning well worth having with her, because at 11,
she formed
her view of the world and what she think, you know, what experience she believe might be awaiting her is important, because even as you point her towards a more faith-based kind of position, there are some things which she's going to wonder how faith will be of assistance to her against maybe
all of the things that will come against
whatever
her.
they are, you know, if she's in an environment where she might end up being propositioned, questions being put to her by men. How does a young girl rely on her faith?
I want to bullies him kind of there.
Yes.
In a them place there, you know.
Yes.
So when a girl have a man, because me go a market in a Spanish town market, and me a woman I hear for speech. You notice you never see nobody pass through and put their man in a my stall yet, because a bad man a do me. You know what I say, do what me talk about.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
So these things now.
And she would hear those things. She go market with you sometimes.
Not really, but you hear them, man. Kind of get some things talking, you know, we chat, you know.
Yes.
You know, and like when I call on phone and me I try to have fixed up what me I say.
Right. People just talk raw.
You know, Jamaican stay with chat.
Yeah.
I mean, around to me raw.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's, boy, I tell you. But I lift my hat to you.
I want leave. You know, I want leave. More time I say to her, baby, all you lucky if you have a daddy like me, you know. Because enough of them now have a father to give them the reason why me I give you, you know.
That's why we salute you every day.
You know? So, you say, hi, mama, sometimes it's rough.
Yeah, what you're doing, raising your child in the environment where she sees more than even some adults need to see, is the grace of God. That is powering you.
Of God.
Yeah, so we're sending you some strength. Even these conversations, I love it when you call, and I'm glad that the space is there for us to talk this morning, because you with a young girl approaching the age now where this is the age now where someone might say stronger female influence might be needed and so on. You have to position yourself to make available to her a network that can fill some of the gaps that you...
Yeah, man. Why is them way there, you know?
Yeah.
We know if we tell her things to talk, you know? And tell her how to talk to people and deal with people at any levels. Because we have the ability there, you know? We there amongst them, and we're well humble, but when some guys feel like they're mighty and them bad, we know to talk to them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
sometimes
also to
we know to make them own conscience, stick them to, you know? I put them in our next position and say, suppose you was in that position, what would you like to be happening to you?
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, man, we have them things that still, and we're not afraid of no guy, you know, because Rastafari, you know, no guy can't bring certain things to my little girl, you know, because I'm not afraid to tell her, you know. You understand me? Kill that, you know, push a sword to it hard, you know, when him done feel like him done, do him do tired and sleep, push a sword to it hard, you know. You understand me? But I tell you still, you know, mama, you're a peaceful man, you know. But if you have a war, we have a war.
Alright.
You understand me? It's rough. And sometimes you just have to fight. As Solomon said, there's a time for everything.
Yep.
Bless up.
Bless up. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're disturbing me bush tea and my bull and pear. You know,
bull and pear. Alright.
You're showing up on us now.
You're in high season now.
Yeah, high season. I plan to call this man, you know, but me say me have to take advantage.
Yes, it's a slow call morning, so welcome, sir. What's on your mind?
Talking about the football, when me not hear much people talk about the regulars to that, like it just died down. You know why we lose that match against
Colombia?
Colombia, Pastor?
Yeah.
Why we lose?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, you watched it?
Everybody has said it's a defense mistake. It's a coach. It's a better coach.
The Colombian coach?
Yes, he's a better coach. He's a thinking coach. When they came out second half, you see what the man did? He keep on switching the ball from right to left and open up our defense.
Okay.
So you're saying better game strategy?
Yes.
That's what they started doing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that switch by that youngster was why she put her left foot on the ball there.
Oh, so you watched some of it?
Yes, man, I watched the whole game, a part of it. But what I was saying when we're thinking about it is that goal that she scored, the Blackwood should have stepped forward, couldn't step for the ball. She miscalculated the flight of the ball, and that's what happened. But just one mistake, and that was it.
The coaching staff, we play a defensive game, it looked like right through the whole tournament. That's why Bonisha didn't get to score a goal, because she don't get any ball to score.
Oh, she got some balls, but so it is.
Not much.
But good defense lead to good offense. So, but they never had somebody in the middle, because what happened in that game too is that they shut down the lady, Drew Spence, who was a feeder of the balls. They knew enough to that.
What's the ranking of the Colombian team versus Jamaica?
They are 20-something, we were 40-something.
Okay.
But look, when our player got 2 yellow cards, we say, yes, we're going to lose the match.
Oh.
Sure.
Why?
So we're going to lose the match. Once we get 2 yellow cards, those 2 yellow cards was a 2 million player, you know?
Yeah.
And they got yellow cards. So they have to think before they run or attack. So that cut we down to a small tree, you know, so that was one of the main problems why we lose. But anyway.
Why do you think we're not speaking more about the football, or we're not? Are you thinking we should still be celebrating the girls, or it seems like
really?
Oh, okay.
We're surprised.
Like me expect to hear more.
Yeah, but them have another big game coming up, you know, for the Olympic spot against Canada, which is a 2, so they have to win here or win there in order to go into the Olympic Games. It should have been a major achievement, because when you look at what our reggae girls did, number 5, number 8, in terms of the team that they played, I think Panama is below us. And then we pick up. We have done well. With what risk?
Very well. I think when World Cup finish, we're going to move up in our ranking. We up.
I think so too. And then we have to make the investments. The thing, my friend, is the sustainability. When we qualified for France in 1998, and the resources that accrued to us, we never did well in terms of building infrastructure in our country. so that we could sustain it. But I think for the women's program with the money that comes, they should have a proper women's league, a proper schoolgirls league, and properly funded in terms of moving it forward. That's some of the things I have to take forward. The high is there, but we need to be back there in 2026 or so. 2024, one of them. 2027, next World Cup.
The other thing we want to talk about too is, do you think I am the main black activist on your program?
No. I think I'm the main black activist.
No, you can't compare to me, Miss Millet. No, them are going to say me a case video, but
No, I don't see you as an activist. Actually, is that what you are?
I am. I'm never fence.
You hide your activism.
A Pan-Africanist?
I am. But I don't play a major role like how some people do it, because I don't get the chance, and maybe me not have the what you call education now.
All right, so hear me, you know. You can't say you're an activist, but then say you don't play the major role or whatever. You know what it say? Activist, it means you're active. An activist is not a person who speaks, who make, outrageous statements, or activists are out there doing things. I know people use the word activist mostly these days. Yes,
I send a lot of stuff on a certain WhatsApp thing. Holy, that's me. If them are go block me one time.
but that's not activism. Just sending out stuff. What are you mobilizing on the ground? How are you?
Yeah, because people see it, and some people don't get to see everything on phone,
But I encourage you to do more.
Yeah, man, me do more.
And when you educate a man, you can't take it away from him in terms of opening up his mind, exposing him to the information, the knowledge that indeed he can make proper decisions, which is what you need to do.
Yeah. All right, then.
All right, my brother.
Online.
Now he has me thinking a bit about what it means to be an activist.
What it means to be an activist?
Yeah, you gotta be in the field. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, hello, morning.
Good morning, Malvern. How are you?
As I watch TV and the screen, news and such. I've always been informed by television and the screen and the media. That's why, I'm sure that's most people, that's how everybody learns of the world.
Gather information.
Yes. And since Cruz mentioned the regulars and all that, what I've noticed in my lifetime as I move along is that the women's sports, while it is it's a big deal now from when I was a youngster. It's now a big, massive billion-dollar industry. What I've seen, you see, is that it promotes a lot of, it promotes some negative in the woman too. It's not just all good, all perfection. It also brings on a lot of, it brings on negative too.
What negative are you talking about? Go ahead.
Yes, let me tell you what I have more detail. It promotes, unfortunately, what it does, in my view, LGBT vibrations. That's what I see. I noticed that, but I noticed nobody mentions it. I suppose it's, nobody knows how to talk about it. But
no, it might be that it not necessarily promote it. It might expose it, because I would say it's not the engagement in the sport that that would bring about those vibrations. I think those vibrations would be there, and then the involvement in the sport just gives it a stage.
I hear you. You're saying expose it. So you're saying it was always
it's always been there.
It was always there.
Yeah.
I hear you. Now, may I say then that I think the very participation of the sport, it causes the body of the athlete to be powerful, to be strong and powerful, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, most athletic endeavors, give of course. Sports
was originally for the military, you know.
Yes, yeah, training outside of war.
Right, and the first Olympics, the people were naked, were they not?
You mean the males, yeah, man?
Scantily clad. Scantily clad.
Yeah. So with all that in mind, and then also with a powerful woman in her body, she has a lot of testosterone.
You sure about that? Because even that is well, you know, Semenya, because she was a case in point. But look what is happening with women's sport, with this trans agenda. What is happening? Men who said they're competing against a woman and winning, and the lady is very outspoken. She said, no, because they showed us. Have you ever watched mixed relays in athletics? You must watch it. So you have 2 female, 2 males, and based on how you set up your teams, you see that women really can't compete against men, you know, in terms of the running, because they're running the same 400 meters.
Really can or can't? What you said?
They cannot in terms of their body structure generally. Because I remember the last World Athletics Championship, I think it was Poland, did 2 men, and then 2 women. And they were way ahead, you know. And then the men came on, and you just see the man them does run. They had like an 80-meter lead, you know, and them just run past woman them, you know. I couldn't believe it. And they said,
the experiment, the agenda.
Yes.
The experiment and the agenda that causes, that brought about this thing. Women thought that it was all to their benefit.
No,
and the upliftment.
It's not. No, they must say no.
No, but now they know. Now they see and know. But at first, they thought it was justice and revenge. But it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, so it backfired in everybody's face.
Yeah,
because you can't go against the wisdom of God. That's what it is. That is what ultimately. The wisdom of God.
You're so correct. And if we needed men, there would be no women. So we need women, and we need men.
Yeah.
We need both. So it's a lie from Satan, of course. We all know that.
Mutual assurance.
Yes.
That's the mutual assurance plan.
Yeah, but you're right. And more people
can't have one without the other.
And there's a pushback.
Right, you can't have one without the other.
And both are equally necessary.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah. Very much so. Yeah. Yeah, all right, then.
Perfect design. Yeah. All right, my brother. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
You know what it is. Good morning. Welcome. You know that what is raised is a issue that is front and center.
All right, the line is open, but we're not hearing anyone.
Front and center in a lot of things. People are pushing back. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, love ambulance.
Hi, African. Good morning. How are you?
Well, African. Good morning.
It's good to be here, my president, and I give thanks for it, you know.
That's up.
When I look from the early show, you know. Storm, look like all fire start coming at storm now.
Fire start coming at storm? Which one that? Where's that? Where's that?
Not Maui. Maui.
Oh, sorry.
Hawaii.
Yes. But wasn't what I don't think there was a storm. I mean they're having a period of exceptional heat in an area that is prone to
monsoon
wildfires.
Okay.
Yeah. And all kinds of it's
people died and
and they're saying they're expecting to find like 10 dead people each day for the next few days because people were killed in their cars on the highway.
Yeah. I just.
What are your thoughts on it? Because when I see it, I say, well, that's a rough judgment right there.
Yeah, it's a firestorm. This thing take place there, you know?
Oh.
So, I say.
It's not connected to any volcanic activity.
It's a warning to the inhabitants of the earth, you know? You know?
Yes.
Yeah, them have to get themselves in order.
Oh.
Time is a time, you know?
Yeah, it is.
With a tough time now. Man, the system will be the health system.
Pan American Health Organization.
So them around the thing, you know.
It's mainly an advisory body that you go for.
Part of the UN.
Part of the UN, yeah.
I don't advise that man.
Them are on it? You said them are on it?
I'm gonna them are on the thing, man. Remember them to come with the report, you know.
But the report came.
Yes, I get certain part of it.
You don't get all of it.
Majority of it locked down.
But that's the government's choice.
Yes, so them and power who plan that. Power no more white night. Power no white night, you know.
Yeah, they produced the report.
Yes, and them know so we not get certain part of it, so I told them plan it.
Yeah, but I mean, an international agency doing work with government doesn't have the access to the airwaves to speak beyond what the government itself is disclosing.
Yes, Miss Mility.
I'm not denying. Well, you know, let's speak plainly. These international agencies carry a great deal of weight and influence.
Thank you very much.
But the work they do has to be embraced, supported, received by our own local authorities.
Because the nations are sovereign, that giant.
Yes.
Don't forget that, you know.
Yes, Reverend.
So
if, to get the report, I would get certain part of it come out to the public.
We don't get everything.
And the rest of it hidden. Who planned that?
That's the government. Not power.
All right, me not blame power for that.
No, man, you can't blame them because a lot of times, if it was left up to them, they would have released everything. But if I invite you to come and do a report, I invite you to my yard and say, okay, come examine the electrics, and you come in as the electrician and give me the information and say, this is what I'm recommending that you do. I get it. But then I can decide to only use part of it. I don't use all of it. And some of the times, that happens a lot on a lot of occasions, you know, Africa.
But you know, when I use part of it,
yes,
the radar now go fix what good.
True. I agree with you.
Yes. Yeah, because of that, me I say.
Yeah.
We can do a part of the report that means then we won't plan to fix the thing good.
Why, my friend? What can I say? You have hit on a real point there, because if I tell you this is what you need to do and then you decide only to take part of my recommendation, and if you take all the recommendations go and fix the problem for good, then you know say, do I really want to fix the problem?
Them don't want to fix the problem, so they're not doing the whole of the report.
Yeah.
And the money, the amount of money, every budget read, money come out to do.
Oh, African, it's 9 a.m. We have to take our break. Can you just either call us back or bear with us, please?
All right.
Yes, Miss Mary.
Okay. Thank you.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
So free, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice for printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start? John, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive. Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and then diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you. Wow, you big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss. Try calling him, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. I got a love note for Cruz from Big Truck. Big Truck says, what does he have for Cruz? A hug and a kiss. I've delivered the message, Big Truck. He said that will get Cruz blood boiling. He said they have a whole running thing with him and me. He said, tell him me there. Cruz, Big Truck is here and wants to give you a hug. A brotherly hug.
Good morning. I somebody on the line.
No, but
we get a chance. Pan American Health organization has been around for 120 years.
120 years, yeah.
Yes.
Big Truck said PAHO isn't an American organization, but it actually is for the American continental region.
Right.
Started in the US though. I just went to their website so I could give a little history.
1870.
1889, their first conference. The 1870, what led to it is the experience coming out of the 1870 yellow fever epidemic, which struck Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina, and within 8 years had spread to the US, where it killed more than 20,000 people. And with shipping, transport, and so on rapidly on the rise, they realized that what happened to one country will very quickly affect the other. So you'd better plan sanitary arrangements and protocols and so on together. So I honestly never paid much attention to PAHO and its origins. So thank you, Big Truck, for making me take a look. It's a fairly old regional effort. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, good morning. I have a plan to talk.
Oh, you ready for your hug and your kiss?
Look, the only person I hug was my dad and my son hugged me, and all of my ex-girls, both white and half Chinese and black.
All right, so you don't want the hug. You'd prefer a box?
You don't want no hug trying to big old rusty man. Yeah.
Oh, you know, same big and rusty.
I don't know him, but like I mentioned one time, I'd like to get him in a ring. Even at 66-year-old, you know me can beat him.
Oh, Big Truck? You want to beat Big Truck?
Yeah, man, in a ring. Even at 65, me no age, me know me can knock him out. Because they'll juke him in the eye and then beat up every somebody.
You have a strategy. So what kind of activist are you that just want to talk about, you know, beating up people? And if you need people, you know, to promote activism.
Miss Minute.
Yes.
You see what's going on in Africa? The hope a change come because them other hero always a try and then Europe get rid of them. You know, I hope it happen.
Yeah, Moses Malinga.
A shift has taken place.
Yeah, a shift is happening, you know. They are waking up and recognizing that their hope and salvation is within their hands. And they're
you know what surprised me? I never expect Nigeria to be joining with the enemy. I plan now to go overthrow Nigeria. Leader. Me never expect that. So you see the division and France, they are waiting on America to go in because if Africa unite, you know, wish all the man them a preach that for a long time and then kill them come right up. If Africa unite, Europe and America sink. Not dying, but they now have the power when them have right now.
Yeah.
You know, so that is the thing. So me don't know if it ever happen. Just like some black people out here we fight against their own black. Yes, you still have some of them family out here will help catch black people to the white man. Some of them out here, you know, because the white man trick them and carry some of them. Me surely I know one of them. But you know, say someone who call your program a descendant and some of them same black people will help white people out here. Me not one of them. I was in Africa. You know? So
we forgive and convert.
Forgive?
Yes, it begins with forgiveness.
Look, me not forgive and forget.
No, I didn't say forget. I said forgive and convert.
Oh, all right. So
convert.
Me don't have any more to say, but me know say Big Truck no mean no good to me. Anything you hear him say, he means an imposter.
Wait, have you ever met him? Have you ever met him?
Do you understand?
Huh?
Have you ever met him?
No, but I listen to him talk against me all the time.
Oh, that's just a thing you're all doing online. It means there's great love.
No.
All right.
By the way, Miss Willett, what happened to Sheppy?
I don't know.
We don't know what happened to Sheppy. A long time I near Sheppy, yeah.
Sheppy, please. Yeah, if you're up and about, send us a message. Let us know.
All right.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Never bless the race is not for the ship, you know.
Never. Those that endure. Here you are again.
You can't endure anything, man. Doesn't matter where they want to come with.
You know, that natural, I call it natural disaster. The disaster in Maui and the 11 houses burnt out. I mean, really, it's the same thing.
11 houses?
The one in Jamaica.
Okay. I thought you said that's similar thing, yeah.
Yeah, the impact of it. Families displaced, lose everything that you have. In Gregory Park. Yes.
Different thing that man.
No, to the man who losing house, believe me, whether it's the electric wire drop down or storm or whatever, or man shoot it up. You have lost everything, and you are at the point where a response that is sympathetic and useful is what you are hoping for. Everybody's coming out and saying what and how them gonna deal with Maui. In Jamaica, where are we? Because that is what counts. Yes.
A different thing that.
What do you mean when you said different thing? Explain, because I've explained what I meant when I say when I speak of the similarity.
Yeah, what takes place? Yeah, what the news that takes place at Gregory Park?
Yeah, well, tell us what you interpret it to mean. That's how we ask African.
From the victim's perspective.
Yeah. It's devastation.
So the fire in Hawaii, are people like it?
Ultimately, persons are responsible, whether you hold them accountable or not. High winds, power lines, power company know what to do. Can de-energize the lines. They have a reporting system that didn't work, just like how the police don't seem to have responded to prevent the loss. There are some similarities. Yeah.
Gregory Park Police Station. Gregory Park Police Station just up at the train line there, you know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So
across the train line, you know.
Right. So I'm wondering how it takes so long to respond.
You have 100 man up looking more, you know.
Yeah. So when people are talking in terms of 100 man, which is in the vicinity, and you hear gunshot fire, the truth is African. Where Gregory Park is and the Gregory Park police station is, you should have got a quicker response time. When you light people's house, you ever hear gunshot, African, me you know a gunshot sound like. You can't say a firecracker that. And it takes so long for people to respond.
Did they respond? What's the report on the response? Because we see the police, we see the Prime Minister visiting, and we hear what he's saying. But aside from it's merely saying that they have the resources to make people feel safe. Which people? The ones who are homeless?
Which military?
Yes.
The other day when them going down the first yard, we never thought about it.
Which yard?
The first yard of them going down Gregory Park.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah.
What the police and the government did about it?
So what is the expectation? What should Jamaica be demanding on behalf of those citizens? That's kind of where I want to take the conversation, because the nature of the response, we understand that the police response, whatever it was, didn't prevent the loss. But here we are now, about 80 persons, if one of the figures I get is correct. But whatever it is, 10 families, 20 families, 11 homes were destroyed. What is the response that Jamaica should be pushing for between what we do as people who can put our hands in our pockets and help, and what we want from the government?
And it's a private sector and build back the house.
But clearly not there.
The people that live in that space.
Yes.
What them say happens because the war.
You hear them saying anything?
Nothing.
Wow.
Well, one lady said that she heard persons outside saying the peace done. So the peace.
What part of the war, Miss Mility?
Turf them say.
Who?
Turf. Yeah, man, I fight over turf.
Competing.
You know Gregory Park?
Yeah, I know Gregory Park.
You go over there?
Yes.
You know the living condition over there?
It's poor. You don't have to tell about the living condition.
What's your theory? but you see now it's almost like you're gone spiritual because the turf is not the actual ground. It's the influence that people wield over a type of activity that is running below the skin. And you have to be saying that one force must be attacking the base, the home of the other force. So they must be saying, in these homes are the boys, the mothers, the family members, the children connected to the man who is seeking to take over my place of influence.
What, Miss Minette, what are these two forces?
First, African, I can only tell you what I'm reading, which for me is just unsubstantiated data concerning what is reported going on the ground, that you have gangs who are fighting for territory. But we know that territory is not land them a fight for. It's influence.
Control of the extortion, who run the activities.
Who want control, whether it's passing them name or who them aligned to.
Oh, you seen it?
Is it true or not? Is that what you understand to be taking place on the ground?
Well, I don't understand that.
What is your understanding? May I ask you?
I hear the top policeman on the news say people come from over there and come over here and burn down the place. Woman come over there, come from over there and come over here too. So they talk about a place. They talk about a place that people come from over there and come over here too.
Okay.
Yeah, but what is your understanding? Because I hear you speaking as if you're familiar with the area.
Yes, it's same like how they don't want to tell about the politicians them in the parliament with nothing in there.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about you. If you are on the ground and you know people who live in the communities and those persons are saying, this is the cause, what is it you're hearing? If you disagree with what's being put out there, what are you hearing?
So what is important to the media supposed to go over there and get that from the people, not me, Miss Minette.
Oh, no, but you're asking questions and you're challenging what's being said. You must have a reason. It can't be that you just don't accept it because of the source. I assume you have some competing accounts, some other information.
Don't accept what, Miss Minette?
That you have competing gangs trying to knock each other off the top spot.
How long now that I go on for?
No, African, if we're going to have a conversation, you have to answer something. You have to say something. You just can't keep posing questions. I don't live in Gregory Park. I don't even think I know Gregory Park.
Let me answer you now. I don't live in there either. But I don't believe that.
What do you believe? Or what do you suspect?
That's why I want to get the facts.
Okay then.
All right. We have another call that we need to deal with, my brother. When you get the facts, feel free to share it.
The people them house run out and them the wood people have to run around not about believe.
Okay.
Well, you see, I wanted to talk about that, but I wanted to talk about the impact on the victims, but you wanted to talk about what caused it.
Cause it to happen.
Yes, Miss Minette, that want to about.
All right. I'll take another call.
Okay then, Africa.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, Miss Minette.
How are you, sir?
Morning, sir. How you do?
Yes, Pastor, morning, and morning to engineer too, you know. I want to bring up to all of the world and want to one God, one you, one destiny. All for one for all. In that matter, there can be no failure. Equal rights and justice to all people, you know. Miss Minette.
Yes, sir.
Barry.
We want to read that Christian, you know. Because somebody that is the new man them attack for a morning, and really a Christian we take them type of the attacking. But anyway, everybody have their own views. You get me?
All right. Yes.
Yeah. But you know, more that agree, you know, that cry blood inside. Because the youth them we are get killed, the young youth them. Where the man them a murder and a kill 3 young girls, where they almost slaughter up the line there. And as we tell you, one daughter 30 years old, I almost lose my 2 granny. too bad man is in. That's why me say, I'm not upset. Anytime a man commit a crime, then we go harder them copy. Because when me take me out, if you call in the police now go to respond because I know the police are on the head of the police force in a turmoil. Right? So how them are going to solve the problem? How them are going to protect we the citizens? They are going to call police and police now go come.
So you're,
right?
so you're advocating, you're advocating self-help? You're saying help yourself?
Yes, yes. So what I say now is we need to arm the nice and decent people of Jamaica. Because remember what most of the ministers say, is only God can help we. And we need to arm the people them who can control us because the government, the police, the soldier cannot protect we.
So you know,
in a Kingston, so man did they burn down place and I kill people and nobody respond, no police, nobody pay them. We need to have one of the wickedest things that hurt me is a couple months ago when a farmer then yard and here man I come take the animal. And for him say, yo, the man them start bush shot and him have to take away. He not supposed to take the pan in farm, he's supposed to have burn boy skin on your farm, a few place that a man come in your yard and I walk around your house and I search every window to come in at your place. And you the inside of your cringe. No man, if you burn a guy's skin in at your place.
So Barry, what you're saying is that within the law, you are advocating people's right to protect themselves.
No, no, I think Barry are advocated outside of the law because right now, citizens who have the stomach for it and the capability are protected if they take extreme steps to protect their property, their home, their own lives. Right now, you can do that. Nothing stopping you. But you seem to have been speaking about something of a different order, which is a very dangerous course to pursue because, one, a lot of people hurt themselves with the very arms that they procure for the safety of their family. They misuse it because it depends. You must have the capability to do whatever it is you say you can do. That's one. The second thing is, it sounds like an easy thing to handle now that you're gonna kill the man who come to do whatever in your community. Citizens,
him come to kill you.
Yeah, but even if him come to kill you and you choose, you say I'm defending myself, and let's say you prevail and you kill him, you gotta live with that.
Yes, my prefer live with that because if you come to kill me, my one life me have, so me have to defend the life at every cost, If I'm my mother, I take my life, me could have been rich, me have to make she take
So all I'm saying to you, Barry, is that it's one thing to respond in the heat of the moment and to be successful in your defense of self and family. Nothing wrong with that. The law permits it. The law protects you. There's nothing unlawful about it. But if we are to say now, as Jamaicans, we say to citizens, don't bother with the police. They don't respond in time or at all. Prepare yourself. Anything that go down in this community, we're going to handle it. And you organize yourself to do that. You have entered a new world.
Yeah, but remember I said the police feel, them feel.
Yes, even with that, I'm just telling you that if citizens decide to arm themselves and go into their own law enforcement, one, you would be breaking the law because unless you have the sanction of government to protect your own community by force, you're starting your own police brigade or whatever it is you're doing.
A militia.
And at that point now,
let's see where that go.
And and some countries like America still have law that allow you to form a militia. We don't have that.
What they have done in Haiti?
I don't think their law permitted, but that's what they've done.
That's what they have done.
And it leads to chaos because eventually it's just one set of armed people battling against another. And if a mistake occur, like, a mistaken identity and this one take that one and treat it, then you have, it's chaos, my brother. There's a reason why we ended up with police force and laws and so on to make sure that level of response is organized. It is better for us to hold them accountable, Barry. It costs in the long run. It costs less for us to hold our police top brass accountable. Right now, Percy was saying in Maui, Hawaii, where they had they're already filing lawsuit against everybody who they think did not perform competently and led to this loss. It's not gonna bring back life, but it can bring back money to rebuild.
Right, that's it all comes down to the accountability of the
I think we agreed on that.
Yes.
We agreed on that.
Because the billions were go down in a fraud through the government system. If them put that in a security, everybody in Jamaica would be secure.
And then some. Yes, I agree.
So,
and we'd have solved two problems. We'd have solved two problems with that. We would be getting good governance and we would be a more secure nation. So it better we spend with time.
Yeah, but I mean, I say, it hurt me to my heart when we hear every week and next year dead and nobody can do no stopping.
Nobody accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurt me.
So even though, like right now, the law don't countenance us suing the Minister of National Security or the Prime Minister or the Commissioner of Police and say you failed in your job.
Yes,
it don't allow it, but we've still got to find a way to hold them accountable.
Yeah, and find a way because them have every loophole to get out of wrong. No government in Jamaica never yet. The other day, in the last election in India, them found one minister who give one man $1 and they fire him out of the organization, out of the party. Wow. So you check in Jamaica now where politicians are about how much the money them got to give, or them wallet kick like dumpling and all that type of rubbish. We don't got the government.
Barry, about
yeah, so I'm going to put myself, because you I'm cool, big up yourself.
All right. Who said they wanted to click?
I'm going to go to school together. You know, cool, big up yourself.
All right.
Yes. Blessing.
Thank you, Barry. That's a good one. Is whose wallet tick like dumpling? Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, Your Highness, Pastor and the King.
My brother, who I want to tick like dumpling, you know?
What?
If I want to tick like dumpling.
Well, one thing we can't say now, but I love dumpling.
Everybody know what that means.
So, we attach to it. I'm going to have one area that both greatness was also attributed to dumpling.
That's true. Yaman dumpling.
Yes.
That is a common.
And the truth of it, all of our greatness in this country, I really attribute to how they've been consuming. They give you more energy, more brain power. And if you look, the last Jamaican I was appointed to this financial institution. It's a Jamaican by them. So, with due respect, as I said, shows us here that we have great people and greatness to achieve.
Yeah.
We just have too much full stop, Emana and Scurry and who they are a wall back because them just don't want all of us to move forward in the greatness of who we are, the image of the Most High. All of us are made in the image of the Most High.
Oh, yes, so, sir. Male and female created he, them.
Why she stayed up and said the male and female, because that speaks itself, yeah, one.
Yes, yeah, that's, I love that phrase, that the two genders form one. In God, they are one.
This one, as far as God concerned, he made the point, what's the distinction? The whole argument of resurrection. Who was she? 14 brother, 7
about 7.
Yeah, who she belong to? Who she belong to in the resurrection? None of them.
None.
Because God's presence is far beyond all our cosmic experience that we can have. The angels are hard to be in the presence of God.
I got to hold in up, brother. It's 9:30. Come in on the back.
Already?
Yes, it's 9:30. Just hold on.
Hang on for us, please. We'll take the break and come right back.
All right.
All right, sister.
Half a tree, 100, average. Bossy. How you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
Winter Voucher Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly defined, educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Get inspired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Morning, welcome back. Thank you for holding, my brother. Go ahead, you're making some points. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is interesting is that I notice we tend to give legitimacy to other things, and when it comes to we as Jamaicans making a stand, and that's why the people are becoming so redundant and neutralized, because we don't give the power or the talk the similar stand. Now, for instance, we have communities where people from coming to watch.
Neighborhood Watch. Homeowners Association, those.
All right, good. And yet still, we're not a problem when you say gated community. And them you name all the various things they give them to stand up against anything that's coming in the community that don't belong in the community. So I think that we just really taking almost good money, chasing bad money.
deadbeat, all this talk of deadbeat talk is a basic simple thing as far as I'm concerned. Like I'm saying A, that comes next B, the next C. It's just simple. We have 5 factors that I would constantly say over and over that creates, nurture, and maintain this type of system. We're ignoring that a lot of these forces that we have existed are billions of different forces, but yet still they have to exist, and they are existing. So the question is then, why is crime still at such a high rate? So it benefits some middle class people to continue this episode here. I'm going to down to an example. When they decide, notice my word, they decide, not you and I, but when they decide that they're going to renovate or change the image of, so they can create their little, what you call now, concept of economic recovery or prosperity, anything they want to do.
You're talking
burn out the poor people out of the area, and just gradually they just end up taking over and turn into industrial units.
Oh, you're talking about how you're relating, you're giving us the factors that relate to how they constantly don't empower us, but give us a facade of what they're doing. That's what you're talking about.
It's constantly, they want to see it, man. That's smoke screen. It's all a smoke screen talk. Because the truth is, they say, they are still nurturing that 5 things that continue this and keep breeding it and sustain it. So it also keeps them in power. Poverty, garrisons, slums, ghettos, you name it. Insecurity, just name them. They maintain those things so they can keep the voting people voting for them.
But there's a point at which that is always the case. If you are a man of Ecclesiastes that say everything is vanity and meaningless and things just run in a circle. But you're making some points which I'm trying to line them up, because one, you'd be saying everything is a fraudulent activity. It's a deception of the people. Meaning somewhere there is a system. There's a system. Yes. Yeah, you're saying. Yeah, that's really what it boils down to. That there's a system in place that is self-perpetuating, that moves against the majority, power being manipulated in the hands of a minority, and everything that happens somehow leads back to that central conspiracy. So you talk about downtown burnout, so people can then put the land into other use. You look at Gregory Park, the same theory could be posited against Gregory Park because it's the informal settlement that exists within the middle of something.
So you said that when you put up high-rise building, think that is the plan ultimately?
Pastor, I'm no prophet enough.
You see,
I just tell you what I see from my position. I'm not saying that's what they're gonna do. I go again. These people, there's a big mafia ring.
Yeah, but I want to challenge. I want to make one point in what you're saying, because the power that resides in the hands of homeowners, whether you're a squatter homeowner or but here so you live, there's power that is in your hands all the time that you just need to organize and use, and the freedom to do so is always within reach. It's there. The difference between who you call they and the mass of persons who are just sort of existing is that one has taken the trouble to organize themselves and to put resources behind it, and the other is still uncommitted or divisive or whatever it is. I know that there is always an effort to keep one man at odds with the other, lest they discover that there is strength in unity. But it is within us to resist it and to push for it. Who could make me be at odds with you if I am determined to overcome every issue that would divide us just so we can work together against a common foe? Nobody could prevent me from finding you tolerable.
By love. That is governed by love. So once you put insecurity among the people, whether by economic or any form of resources, you have the people divided immediately. It's almost like taking medication. They are feeding the people psychologically. As a matter of fact, look at the world.
But if you know, my brother, we can't spend all morning together, but I'd love for you to tell me, in your thinking, you've analyzed it, what is the answer to change that tide? Because every tide can be shifted.
Well, I would say that.
Yes.
I will use one example that I've seen, and I respect for, irrespective of the characters involved.
Mm-hmm.
When I see a man like Mark Solomon, who was alive, who had a great shareholder in Grace Kennedy, and using the principle now, could see that his son could be the president of the organization too. But in said, boy, make Douglas Array be the man, because that's the man of the vision now to move Grace Kennedy into Europe. That makes business sense. Nothing about son, nothing about legacy and all that. It's about making the proper choice for the mass shareholders of the company, which they did. And Douglas Array was successful in carrying Grace Kennedy into Europe. Same principle now. Back to our governance here. When the man, like I said in question, the commissioner of police should never be appointed by the Prime Minister, first of all, because he can't lock him up. And that's the first mistake we're making. So we should allow the people to elect, like the same way, like how the army, you have 15 generals on the board.
I happen to believe that the commissioner should be an elected official too, so I'm with you.
I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
Commissioner, the head of the army, the head of the police system, you name it. These people must be elected by the people, and you have three come forward, like I said, if I went to the principle that exists here, that we can use it as a prototype, the army have an X amount of general that forms the board. They're all generals.
All right.
And they choose at least three among themselves who they will submit to their leadership. And then they elect out of the three which one, and then work with that. Same principle. If that one not working, you are FIRED.
All right, brother. Thanks.
Good note to tell you thanks, because we have another caller and time is running.
Call again.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Well, give thanks to Lord, give me a next opportunity.
The Lord is good and generous.
What is the Jamaica armies for?
The origin of it was to support the Queen when she called on her Commonwealth properties for military defense.
Of the empire.
Right now it seems to be something else, but that's its origin.
All right, because me not talk about the incident in the place or the house them burned down.
Park, yes.
Well, I go and see a time and no response, but as a youth from the ghetto, it's like that's not new to me, because I can remember me in Kingston and growing many times, and when they go on their bus, you can't tell me say Central now hear it, and the other stations, them around and about the place wasn't hearing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes these things happen for weeks and months, and you always say police. And I mean, if the police is so small, say, deal with the whole situation.
Call the army.
We agreed.
All right.
And we see they've been using the army, and sometimes it like the citizen gets the worst of it, but there's no cause for that kind of mayhem in a community. And you can't get a report on what the coordinated, effective response of law enforcement was.
Listen to me, my friend. When them the big gun there busting hours a night, they must hear it.
You must hear it. You hear it all the time.
Hours a night, they play it more quiet, so they must hear it.
But we see the quick response if beryllium under fire or if money gets stolen and those things. We think the priority should be better. We have one more call to take, Wayne.
Never ask you a question.
Quick.
When you hear the word oppression,
yes,
what you think?
I think evil and demonic influences that are
against
outside this world.
Yeah.
Injustice. I know the answer is in God. When you hear
the word dictatorship, what come to mind?
Germany. Gotta run. Hitler come to mind.
All right.
Good morning
Morning,
and
caller.
welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, it's Ryan. Just wanted to say,
Sure.
your concept that talks about justice and mercy. I was thinking about it, what you said, and it seems to me that you think that each time there is justice, there is mercy too alongside it.
No, there's a prerogative of mercy that can be associated.
But
with
it wasn't justice. I had said it's judgment.
Okay,
Judgment.
Which is the correct term.
Yes, it's judgment.
Okay.
Judgment is what I said.
There's always mercy with it, you think?
In God, in the will of God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, our question, with that in mind, how is people being in hell explained?
Ultimately, in how do people reach to hell? Ultimately, that's what you're
No,
saying?
not that. He's saying, where's the mercy when hell is a place of eternal burning? You could have got there.
No. How come hell is populated?
Because people have rejected.
Okay. So, who wants
the mercy, you know.
Mercy, though?
Yeah, but so here how mercy operates. Mercy, judgment, you have been judged. Mercy, the punishment could be worse. So when you say hell, what are you saying? It could be. Is there different levels of punishment in hell, or because there's always mercy?
Yes. So mercy, and you still end up in hell, you're saying?
Yes, you could have got there sooner. Mercy
it extended to you.
If mercy was extended to you, so you could have repent. Or it's like you're sentenced and you're in prison, but you get parole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always mercy. I had said to Malvern, I think I'd said to you, quick death, slow death. One is more merciful than the other.
Quick, I think quick is better. I think.
Yes,
quick and slow.
I said quick and merciful.
Yeah, that's some people prefer that. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people, you see them suffering as they die. The illness they wish to die.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, as the book says, they will seek. Some will seek that
I can't find it.
Yeah.
Always mercy.
So there's always judgment, but the prerogative of mercy is always here.
All right, sir.
I pray that God is merciful to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Terrible as things are going on now. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. I see the team packing up. The fat lady has stood up and she's clearing her throat. It's that time of the morning.
You know, but as we started and we end with it, it's interesting that Malvern ended with that about judgment and mercy.
Yeah.
The writer in Proverbs says, 18:17 says, a man can make an argument, but somebody else come and make another argument. Then they say, I never.
That's why we don't judge.
Yeah.
That's why we don't judge. Big Truck says the DPP too should be elected. Yes.
I agree with you.
Yeah, man. There are some people who, the citizens must have a say. And when they're to go, the citizens have a say.
But it's interesting because even as we continue these conversations, the elements are emerging as to what this new constitution must look like.
Told you it would.
Yeah, man.
Well, we're talking to you. We're in agreement.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I still have to schedule like a specific block of time where we go through and we tighten it up and then we can have a presentation ready.
Yeah, because we did. Started with what the constitution, because you have to educate, because most people are talking about constitutional reform. And most people don't know what the constitution says, You know that?
Yeah. I accept that because it's a specific document and it says specific things. And if you don't know, you don't know. It's not something you can guess.
You have to know.
You have to know it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family, it's that time of the morning. I just got to say thank you so much. We've had some exciting chatter, both online and on air. Thank you for keeping pace with us and keeping our company through these early morning hours. To the producer and to the engineer, I thank you both, and Pastor Percival, as always, thank you for setting the pace. We try to keep up on the pitch that you laid down. I don't know how we fared, but you know what? It was an honest effort that we made. So
I made 100.
Yeah, so we'll do it again tomorrow. Have a blessed day, everyone.
What's the matter, people?